I'm so excited to speak with you, and congratulations on making one of the scariest movies I've seen all year. I loved this film.
Appreciate it.
Now, you have a really rich history with the genre. What got you into horror originally? What were some of your early horror loves?
Oh, sure. I think I accidentally saw Poltergeist when I was about 10 years old, and it traumatized me. That and Cronenberg's The Fly. I couldn't watch a Jeff Goldblum movie for years. Even the sight of him terrified me. So no, I think I'm like a lot of horror fans where I was initially, I couldn't handle the genre. It was too
Mhm.
much for me. It stuck with me. And so over time, I learned to love it almost as a coping mechanism for the movies themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, I got lucky and found slashers first, which were such an easy in. And then it was just like, oh, Martyrs is nothing after you've seen this.
Martyrs is nothing indeed. Yeah.
Now, The Night House is a haunted house film. There's a lot more elements to it. Is that something you personally find scary, or do you know people like me have fears of haunted houses and want to poke us?
Yeah, I mean, I think things that go bump in the night, I can relate to like anyone else. I think there's a psychological undercurrent to the film that scared me more,
Yeah.
but also just as a genre person, I mean, I think I got excited about the tropes of a haunted house, and that this felt like a really original, just way to do a haunted house movie and a gothic romance that I hadn't quite seen it put together like this.
Yeah, I rarely see the psychological aspect in these ghost haunted house films. It has that turn of the screw kind of element to it. Is
Yeah.
there any classic ghost stories or things like that that you are inspired by that you kind of pull from?
I mean, we looked at, we thought a lot about Turn of the Screw. We looked at The Innocents. We thought a bit about House of Leaves. I know not classic, but definitely contemporary horror fiction. Like that was a huge influence in some
Mhm.
ways. I feel like there ought to be a subgenre that deals simply in geography horror. The idea of spaces changing in ways that are completely unnerving. And that's just something that I feel like I relate to on a personal level, just from my own dreams and nightmares. The idea that that's a door that shouldn't be there and yet it is, or that if the window's there, then what's behind me necessarily? The map in my mind of the world just rotated. Those are the scary notions that I feel in a particular state of mind we stumble across.
Yeah, you definitely hit one of my biggest fears, which is looking outside of windows at night. She got that text message in the film of look outside. I'm like, no. So I love those moments. When you first read this script, was it like an instant, I want to direct this? Or was this something you're like, let me see? But because I feel that script is so strong for it.
Yeah, I instantly knew this would be an incredible movie to take on. There's still a process after that. Like, can it get made? Who's going to be involved? Like, what's it going to take? I will say that it stuck with me. I
Mm.
got more and more persistent about seeing the film come to life because I couldn't get it out of my head. I thought it was troubling in some ways. And luckily, I showed it to the right people, and we got to bring it to life.
Well, that makes me happy because I think this is such a powerful film. It has a lot to say with also being scary. I also think you do great jump scares in this film that are a bit different than the normal ones. Is there like a magic to making jump scares? And is there any from horror history that you love?
Oh well, I think you can't beat the that long shot in Exorcist 3. I think
I
that's
I knew it.
notably one of the greats. Yeah.
That's what this reminded me of is that kind of jump scares like that. I don't know what's happening.
I will say, as far as making them work, I mean, it's always a little bit. You're never really sure what's going to land, but I think it has. I don't know, not to diagnose it so much, but it has a lot to do with what it's predicated on.
Mm.
And you find that out every time somebody tries to cut a trailer and put the jump scare in the trailer, and it's like, it doesn't work quite the same way. And it's like, why is that? It's like, because you don't have the scene before it with Rebecca Hall going into some really dark psychological spaces that put you in a space where you need that release necessarily. So it's all context and performance in my experience. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely built a good mood here. David, thank you so much for speaking with me about this film. I can't wait for more people to see this and be terrified as I was.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.